Hey everybody, it's Shannon Marin here with the Marin Marketing Team, eXp Realty and Shannon Marin Personal Real Estate Corporation. You are joining us now for part 2 of the interview series with Colin Campbell from Vancouver Island Financial Services. So here's one of the struggles I find in the market right now.
Yes.
Everybody knows there's a lack of inventory. Today there's only 48 homes for sale in Campbell River. So when people are out there not finding what they want, they say, oh, well, maybe we'll just buy a lot and build. You know, simple, easy.
Yes.
Not so easy.
Not so easy.
Okay, tell us about that.
To do construction mortgages and draw mortgages, now those are two different things, believe it or not. Most people would want to do a draw mortgage. Now, a draw mortgage, when you're doing construction, is for somebody that has gone out, they've bought the lot, they want to build their dream home.
Okay.
And they're going to need lump sums of money in order to do that, to be able to pay their contractors or pay their general contractors so they can get these things done.
Right.
But you really need to have a lot of ducks in a row first, as well as some pretty deep pockets. Okay. So if we're talking about the property alone, because there are kind of 3 stages throughout this process. There's the land, there's the construction of the home, and then there's refinancing the property after the case, because it's a completed home.
Right.
What a lot of people think with draw mortgages is they're going to get these chunks of money, pay out their construction, but that's their mortgage. At the end of the day, they've got a tab for this much. That's not the case. Right. When you're getting these chunks of money on these draws, that is generally an interest-only loan. So it's considered a short-term loan from a bank.
Okay.
And you are on a time limit. So from the day that you get your first draw, you have generally 12 to 18 months. And the reason that I'm giving generalizations is because it depends on the financial institution that you're dealing with.
Right, okay.
Everybody has a different set of rules.
Right.
Some are more lenient, some may really make sure that you've got your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
So with those 3 things, let's start with the basics. If you've got your piece of land, either one, do you already own it? And you just want to build on it. So say you already have a piece of property that you might want to build in the back of your property, build another place, or you're going to flatten your home and build your forever home there.
Yeah.
Then that's going to be one situation. If you don't own the property, then we need to get you that piece of land before we even think about construction and all of the rest.
Yeah, okay.
Sadly, most lenders are looking at 50% down now on a bare land purchase.
Yeah, that's pretty recent.
It is.
Isn't it?
It is. Okay. It used to be a bit less. It used to be, we would want to see 30%, but now we are up to 50%.
Yeah.
So the average lot in Campbell River is how much, Shannon?
You're lucky if you can find something for $250.
$250.
Right?
Oh my gosh, I was going to say $150.
Yeah.
Okay. So
right? There's been some smaller lots recently. There's not a lot for sale in the land area anyways. But to get something decent where you're not crammed in with your neighbors, you're probably looking at $250.
My gosh.
Yeah.
So now you're saying that you have to have $125,000 liquid to be able to go and buy this property.
Yeah.
So are you cashing out investments? How are we doing that? Then we can get into the construction side of things. And the construction side of things, the bank are going to want to see a number of things before they're going to allow you to do any form of construction. Before they're going to do this draw mortgage for you. So they're going to want to see the plans for your home. They're going to want to see that the plans were not done by yourself on a notepad, that they were actually done by a legitimate architect, that these are stamped and sealed plans.
Right, so you're forking out money ahead of time for that. You're looking at $5,000 to $7,000 right there.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So you need to get these things. Are you going to be a home builder yourself, or are you going to get a developer to come in and do the construction for you, to be the general contractor while you go and select these things as you build your home? So all of these things need to be looked at.
Yeah.
The reason that we ask about, are you building it yourself or do you have a general contractor, is we want to know about the home builder's insurance. Are you insured while you guys are going through construction? Because if you're not, then we need to get it.
Yeah.
We need to get it insured.
Yeah.
You know, so there's costs there that a lot of people don't think about. But how many people have gotten to almost to a lock-up stage, so they've got windows and doors but no interior, and then someone has left a heater on inside and burned the house down accidentally.
Yeah.
You know,
It
trying to
happens.
dry paint or drywall or whatever the case might be. What happens then? You have to have these insurances in place.
Yeah.
So now you're paying for insurance. You've got to have a ton of documentation put in place. Like I say, when you're dealing with these architects and these builders, you need to have their certifications as well to be able to prove that these are legitimate people.
And these are all things that the lender is requiring.
Exactly.
Right.
As well as the lender is going to want to see how committed are you to building this piece of property.
Yeah.
You know, so they're going to want to see, do you own the property? Do you own the land already before we do the construction? If not, how are we going to do that? We need to swing that into the deal as well. They are going to want to see generally 35% of the construction completed before your first draw. Now, different standards.
Wow. Hey, that's a big chunk of money to come up with.
It is, absolutely. So, I mean, if
Yeah.
you're talking about, say, a $400,000 build, I mean, that's how much we're talking, over $100,000, like well over $100,000 that you're going to have to be able to pull out of your hat, right? So, so you need to be able to consider that. They're also going to want an overage fund as well. So in case you go over budget, which everybody does, nobody
goes over budget.
Exactly, because you always want to tweak something when you actually start seeing the house come together, which is, I have to say, it's a horrible thing to do. So don't do it, please, because it really does screw up the draw. Because that's when you really can run into an over budget situation. But you have to have 15%. Well, depending on the lender, it can be anywhere from 5% to 15% in a slush fund.
Okay.
So again, now that's for the total cost of the build. So say it's a $400,000 build with a $150,000 lot. Now you've got to be able to come up with 35% of all of that, plus 15% as a slush fund.
Wow.
So we're literally talking, you need to have half of your construction costs in your jeans before we're even going to look at you.
And this is super informative, because if somebody goes in and gets approved for a traditional mortgage, you know, with your 10 or 20% down, and they can't find what they want, and that's what we're hearing. Oh, well, I'll just build, right? Based on that approval. But that's not going to fly.
No. And the other thing that you need to take into consideration is, who are these professionals that you're working with? You want to make sure that you've got the best contractor that you can get your mitts on. And that can be a challenge. Where do you find out if this person is good or bad? Well, talk to your architect, get personal references. If they're doing some construction now, can Shannon go and take you to see some of this construction? So you can see the bare bones of what
and
this
the quality.
person... Exactly.
You know?
What is this person producing? Shannon and I have recently had a customer in this situation, and it was a very big challenge for this person, and ultimately they couldn't construct a home because they couldn't find a good developer, they couldn't find the cash to do the build, so they really had to pivot their thinking around stuff.
Exactly.
So my suggestions for doing construction, if you want to build your forever home, is if you can get your contractor to purchase the lot and do everything, then it's just a conventional mortgage.
Right.
We just go and talk to you and say, all right, this is the house that we're going to be building. It's going to be done over this period of time. We will pay it out at that time, because then all of the onus is on the contractor and not on you as a person.
Right.
So it really depends. Is this going to be your baby? Or is this going to become essentially a full-time job for a few months? Because that is the involvement that you will need Or do you just want a new home?
Yeah.
In which case you
That's the case, you hire that guy over there to take care of it for you.
That is
right?
correct.
And that makes your mortgage a lot easier than having to go through all the steps we just talked about.
Well, then you don't need, I mean, provided, depending on what your financial situation is and your credit situation, you can come in at 5% down.
Yeah.
You know?
Instead of 35 and another 15.
That's correct.
Yes.
So if cash flow is an issue, this is another way of looking at it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense because you know, there's misconceptions out there about, you know, if I'm approved for a mortgage, then I can just go out and spend that money on whatever I want, however I want. Thank you so much for watching. For more information on financial services here on Vancouver Island, please give us a call at 250-914-1122.